Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters, to another thrilling episode of NT Coins World, the place where pocket change turns into prized possessions. If you think modern coins can't be valuable, think again. Today we're diving into two incredible Jefferson Nickels that might be lying quietly in your collection. Or pocket change, the 1988D and 1991D 5-cent coins, both in fine condition. These nickels may not seem rare at first glance, but they hide surprising details, notable minting errors, and collector demand that could turn an ordinary coin into a sought-after gem. So grab your coin trays and magnifiers. We're uncovering the value, variety, and rich history of these modern-day nickels that every collector should pay attention to. The 1988D Jefferson nickel is a modern-era coin that carries the long-standing tradition of the Jefferson series, which began in 1938. By the time this coin was minted, the design had seen 5 decades of circulation, surviving through war, economic shifts, and various minting technologies. The D-Mint mark on this coin stands for the Denver Mint, one of the most prolific and reliable production facilities in the United States mint system. The year 1988 saw no major design changes, but beneath the surface, it's a year that carries plenty of reasons to catch a collector's attention. On the obverse, the coin continues to feature the iconic left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag. The detail is classical, with Jefferson's hair pulled back and his collar dressed in colonial-era fashion. The inscriptions are standard for the series. "In God We Trust" curves along the left rim. "Liberty" appears on the right, followed by the year 1988. In fine condition, this coin displays moderate wear across Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and hair, though the inscriptions remain bold and legible. It is typical for coins of this grade to show light flattening of the details, but not enough to compromise identification or appeal. On the reverse, the design still features Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. The building is centered, symmetrical, and features Roman-inspired architectural elements. Above Monticello is the Latin motto E Pluribus Unum, while below are the inscriptions Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. In fine condition, Monticello's dome and front steps are often worn but recognizable, though the steps themselves, a major marker for collectors seeking full steps nickels, are typically faded or flat in circulated grades like this. In terms of mintage, the 1988D Jefferson nickel was minted in enormous numbers. The Denver Mint produced an astonishing 583 million to 110,000 nickels that year. This high mintage makes it easy to find in circulation and in most circulated grades. It is considered common. However, rarity in modern coins doesn't always lie in how many were made. It lies in how well they were made. That's where condition, rarity, and error varieties come into play. The market value for the 1988D Jefferson nickel in fine condition is modest, generally ranging from 10 cents to 25 cents depending on condition, toning, and eye appeal. While this might not sound impressive, coins with special characteristics or striking errors can dramatically exceed those values. For instance, collectors pay high premiums for full steps varieties in mint state condition. A 1988D nickel with clearly defined steps on Monticello, graded MS65 with full steps, can sell for $50 to $200 or more depending on the market and certification service. The 1988D nickel is also known for a range of error coins that keep collectors interested. These include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and struck-through grease errors. One notable variety for this year is a double die reverse DDR, which may show slight doubling in the lettering on the reverse, particularly in Monticello, or 5 cents. While not as dramatic as classic double dies from earlier decades, these varieties are still collectible and can command prices of $20 to $100 depending on grade and prominence. Another feature to watch for is the over-polished die error, where design elements are faint or partially missing due to excessive die maintenance at the mint. For example, Jefferson's eye or Monticello's steps might appear unusually smooth or ghosted. These types of errors are subtle, but can become quite valuable when properly identified and verified. Collectors are also attracted to the 1988D nickel because of its positioning in the series. It's part of the last full decade before the 2004-2006 Westward Journey nickel redesigns. As the original Felix Schlag design neared the end of its era, coins like the 1988D serve as the final chapters of the traditional Jefferson nickel look. This makes it a key date for collectors building full date and mint mark sets. In summary, while the 1988D Jefferson nickel may appear modern and common, it offers a wealth of opportunity for the sharp-eyed collector. Whether you're hunting for full steps, doubling, or classic strike errors, this nickel proves that even coins from the late 1980s have plenty of hidden value and collector interest waiting to be uncovered. Continuing our exploration of modern Jefferson Nickels, we now move to the 1991 Jefferson Nickel, another fascinating piece of numismatic history that's often overlooked due to its high mintage, but holds unique collector appeal, especially when it comes to errors, condition rarity, and set completion. The D once again signifies production at the Denver Mint, which by the early 1990s had become the dominant force in circulating coinage in the United States. The obverse of the 1991D nickel maintains the consistent portrait of Thomas Jefferson by Felix Schlag, left-facing, clean-cut, and historical in presence. The inscriptions are unchanged, "In God We Trust" curves leftward, while Liberty and the date 1991 appear to the right, separated by a small star. In fine condition, Jefferson's hair and cheek are typically worn, and some loss of detail in the facial contours and coat lines is expected. Still, the legends are sharp and the coin remains visually complete. The reverse, featuring Monticello, retains the neoclassical architecture style that collectors know and admire. E pluribus unum arches over the building, while Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America anchor the lower half. In fine condition, Monticello's dome and columns may appear lightly flattened, and the steps are usually smooth from circulation. But again, condition is key. Examples with even partial steps in circulated grades are favored, and full step details in uncirculated versions can command a significant premium. Mintage for the 1991D Jefferson Nickel was extremely high, as expected during this period. A staggering 600 to 1,868,000 nickels were struck at the Denver Mint alone, making it one of the most commonly found nickels of the early 1990s, yet, similar to the 1988D, high production does not eliminate collectability, especially when we're talking about mint errors, pristine strikes, and varieties. In terms of market value, the 1991D Jefferson Nickel in fine condition typically trades between 10 cents and $0.5. While that may seem ordinary, collectors know that this date can hide some unusual features. For example, the Denver Mint was known for heavy die polishing and faster production speeds during this period, which resulted in a higher than average rate of minting anomalies. The 1991D nickel with full steps is a condition rarity because of the rust striking process and overused dies. Full step examples are difficult to locate and highly desirable. A 1991D with 5 or 6 full steps graded MS65 or higher by a third-party service can sell for $100 to $250 or more at auction, especially if the luster is strong and the surfaces are free of major marks. Known errors for the 1991D include off-center strikes, die breaks, rim cuts, clash dies, and struck-through debris errors. Collectors have also reported die rotation errors, where the reverse is rotated off-axis from the obverse, an uncommon but intriguing defect that can be worth $40 to $100, depending on degree of rotation. Off-center coins with a full date visible can fetch $50 to $150. Based on how dramatic the misalignment is, another key error that can affect this year is the over-polished die error, where die abrasion removes critical details, like Jefferson's eye or the steps of Monticello. These ghost-like features can be fascinating to collectors and error hunters, often selling for $20 to $75, particularly if paired with other strike abnormalities. For collectors building a modern Jefferson Nickel set, the 1991D is a required date, and the challenge lies not in finding it, but in finding it with quality. Strike softness, die fatigue, and surface marks are all obstacles in obtaining a top-tier example. As such, gem uncirculated or full-step certified specimens become rare targets for registry collectors and those assembling competitive sets. Additionally, the 1991D coin marks one of the final years before major U.S. mint modernization. Later, in the 1990s, coin production underwent changes in die design, coin planchets, and even design updates, meaning the 1991D represents the tail end of the classical Schlag design, untouched by new enhancements. For those who appreciate continuity and original artistry, this adds sentimental and historical weight to the coin. In conclusion, the 1991D Jefferson Nickel might seem like a modern, plentiful coin, but its real appeal lies in its era potential, condition rarity, and place in the historical timeline of U.S. coinage. Whether you're chasing a perfect full steps example or looking for eye-catching mint errors, This coin holds value beyond its 5-cent face, and that wraps up today's deep dive into two of the most underestimated yet collectible Jefferson Nickels in recent decades. Whether it's the 1988D with its surprising varieties or the 1991D with era potential and modern charm, these coins prove once again that value is not always about age, it's about knowledge, rarity, and detail. Thanks for tuning into NT Coins World. Be sure to like this video, subscribe for weekly rare coin breakdowns, and hit the bell so you never miss a new upload. Have a 1988D or 1991D Jefferson nickel in your stash? Drop us a comment below. We'd love to hear what you've discovered. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and keep collecting.